kind of go over some deadlift stuff. Just some things that I'm kind of currently working on my deadlifts, because I kind of wanted to go away from wedging on my deadlifts, but as of right now, I really need to learn how to breathe at the top before I grab the bar. This just kind of helps keep my core a little bit tighter and keeps me from breaking form as much. The problem with breathing at the top is sometimes I pass out. So I guess for the next year or so, every single deadlift session is going to go in with the intentions to work on perfecting the technique so that I can perform the lift without passing out. And that just means that I have to be a little bit more efficient with understanding wrist position, shoulder position, and applying my breath at the top as I lift. And this is just kind of like a little bit of what it looks like when I breathe at the bottom. See how like that little bit right there, when I pulled it, added that little bit of hesitation right at the beginning here. If you look right there, right, I want to minimize this movement where right when I'm going to pull, the bar kind of moves. And then if you look, you could see like the bar shaking, the weight's kind of spinning a little bit, and I kind of don't like that. See all that extra movement right there? That's not good. Okay. All right, so what I did next was, as I started increasing the weight, we started working a little bit more on the little minute stuff. And right now I could just tell my hips was like super tight, so taking this stance today wasn't a good idea. I just kind of felt some pain, so I just thought about it like, all right, so what I need to work on is just finding my strongest position. So there was no need for me to go super wide, because the most important part of today's workout was mainly to focus on hand positioning and shoulder positioning. So if you watch, the best pulls are going to be where, I guess when you're talking about shoulder position, is the bar not spinning. And if the bar is spinning when you're deadlifting, that might not be a big deal until it becomes a big deal. So like if you're performing like a max lift and the weight is spinning in your hands, a lot of the times, like professional lifters when they're competing, that is why the weight falls. The smaller you are, the more weight you have on the bar, the more your grip technique is affected by your lifts, the more you need to pay attention to your deadlift technique, shoulder position, and wrist position. All right, so you see all that little, even just from that, like you can see the little excessive movements, and then you can just kind of see the weight spin, like watch this side over here. Okay. So I'm going to, again, I move my stance probably like an inch closer. I'm going to get set, grab the bar, and right when I get set, watch how the bar is moving left and right. Right when I pulled, it rolled forward, and then it had to spin back. Now, the technique itself wasn't, or the way that it looked wasn't bad, mainly is because it's only like almost 500 pounds. It's not heavy enough to mess me up, but if it was any heavier, something would have happened. Okay, so again, I have to keep warming up and keep working on technique. Okay, so if you look at this set, I did a way better job at getting set. The only problem was it still kind of rolled a little bit on me, but this is what happens when you pull with sweats. The sweats, again, they just add more factors and more layers to your technique, or more things you have to worry about. But if you watch at the very beginning of the pull, okay, so right before I initiated the pull, watch the weight over here roll away from me. When it rolls away from me and then I pull the weight, now the weight has to come back into me, because that's what happens when you lock out the weight. And what that does is it spins the bar. Okay, watch that left side. See how it spins? If it would have been heavier, I would have missed. So every set, we just got to keep working on perfecting the technique, perfecting where I need to put my feet, my foot angle, how wide, how it's supposed to feel in my hands, what is the perfect grip technique. And when everything comes together, kind of like this set, it really lets you know, like, okay, so I'm onto something. For the rest of the sets and going on into the next block and years, I need to mimic this feeling. Okay, breathe at the top, come back down, set my hook grip, just let it be one adjustment. All right, if I need more than that one adjustment to get my finger set, I'm gonna pass out. From here, I need to remember not to rush. I need to focus on not staying super upright. So you see how my chest is kind of leaned forward a little bit? I need to maintain this position, because if I lean too far back, it's going to rock the weight. Right when I bring my hips down and I feel like the weights want to pull, this is my perfect starting position. And this is where I need to hit my sweet spot every time, because the bar did not roll back and forth right when I got set. Okay, as I got set, it rolled a little bit, but you get the idea. You know, every set, as we continue to increase, you want to slowly work your way into making those mistakes less and less. You want to be able to grab the bar, and this is a good way, you know, from the side position to really see what your wrist angle needs to be and what your shoulder position needs to be when you pull. See how, like, I did that little rock right when I wedged into the bar shifted away from me and then it came back. That causes inefficiency. Okay, it could be better. It could be better. So this is also what I mean when I say, like, you know, I don't want to be lucky, because technically this set, this is the best rep that I did, but I got lucky. And I got lucky by being patient. So, like, if you ever hear people say stuff like, you know, be patient with your pull. Being patient with the pull just allows you to, if you mess up on your technique, to allow you to get into a good position before you actually attempt the weight. Okay, so if you watch, I'm gonna kick into the bar is gonna roll back, but then the bar is gonna fall back into the sweet spot, and that's when I pulled it. Now, at the time, obviously, I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to feel out the bar. I'm trying to feel out the weight and make sure the technique and everything is perfect. But at a meet, when there's a lot of pressure, I am probably going to pull a little bit too early or a little bit too late. Or I'm going to be, chest is going to be a little bit too upright. And I'm doing, in all of those little things, even just by a millimeter, if I miss it, I'm going to miss the weight. And this is 529, and imagine I can do this for 10 reps, but I'll miss it for 1 if my technique is not smooth. Okay, so if you look, the bar moves forward, it moves forward, okay, moves forward right there, and then it rolls back. And as it rolls back, let's see if I can do it like this. Yeah, like this. Okay, so check that out. I'm setting my hand. Right when I set my hand and I get into position, you can see the weight roll forward. Okay, and then right when I decide to initiate the pull, you see how, like, the weight rolled back into the sweet spot, and when I pulled, everything looks super smooth. I got lucky with this rep, but I need to imitate this rep without all of the extra movements going on, and I believe I did that perfectly for this set. I try to do everything the best that I can, try to be patient even if I mess up even a little bit, and then hope that the lift goes smooth. If you do everything perfect, it looks easy and the weight doesn't move. Now if you look again, you can see the weight kind of shifting back and forth a little bit, but it wasn't enough to get me out of position, and when I pull, the weight just kind of locks out and it's smooth. Okay, now check this out. This is my last set of the day. I ended up going about 600, And look what happens to the bar when I mess up, okay? Every little bit just makes the lift a little bit harder. But again, at 600, it's not enough to make me miss. But at a meet, this is crucial for confidence. And you always want to practice good technique so you don't rock and make the bar and the weights move in the way that they move, okay? So this lift would have been an RPE 5 or RPE 10. Alright, but that's it.